Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wild life is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovering Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today we are going to tell you about the Titanic. The RMS Titanic was a British cruise ship that sank on April 15, 1912. During its first voyage from England to New York, over 1,500 people died. Do you have any idea what RMS means? It stands for Royal Mail Steamer. Titanic was built by a company called White Star Line. She was completed and ready for the ocean on March 31st, 1912, after 3 years in construction in Belfast, Ireland. When the Titanic left England, it was the largest ship in the world. It was 882 feet long, over 100 feet tall, and 10 levels. The Titanic was almost as long as 3 football fields. 3 football fields. Wow. Yep. And they say that the Titanic was unsinkable as well as very large and well built. The Titanic was built using the best technology of the time, including 2 giant steam engines and a turbine that provided 46,000 horsepower. It took over 2 years and 15,000 workers to build the Titanic. It cost $7,500,000, equivalent to $400 million today, to build the Titanic. The ship had the ability to support up to 2,453 passengers and 900 crew. The first class area was decorated more like a fancy hotel. There was a swimming pool, gymnasium, barbershop, library, several cafes, and a squash court. Most expensive tickets to travel aboard the Titanic cost about $99,000 in today's money. To feed the passengers and crew, Titanic had 86,000 pounds of meat, 40,000 eggs, 40 tons of potatoes, 7,000 heads of lettuce, 3,500 pounds of onions, 36,000 apples, and 1,000 loaves of bread on board. The Titanic was one of the first ships to have a telephone system and electric lights in all the rooms. That's a lot of food. Makes me hungry. Titanic's engines used more than 800 tons of coal each day. The ship's top speed was 27 miles an hour. Smoke and steam made by the Titanic's boilers escaped through 3 stacks. Builders added a 4th stack because they thought it made the ship better. At the time, the Titanic was considered one of the safest ships ever built. It had all sorts of safety features. Its hull had 2 layers of steel to help it prevent leaks. It also had 16 compartments that could be sealed off using watertight steel doors. If the ship sprung a leak, the doors would close, keeping the ship from sinking. The Titanic departed from Southampton, England on April 10, 1912. It then stopped at the French port of Cherbourg and the Irish port of Queenstown to pick up more passengers. It left Queenstown and began its fateful trip across the Atlantic Ocean on April 11, 1912. The journey was meant to take 137 hours. The anticipated journey time sailing from Queenstown to New York City. The captain of the Titanic was Captain Edward J. Smith, who was a master at sea with over 43 years' experience. Despite being warned of the potential of icebergs in the northern waters, the Titanic continued across the Atlantic at full speed. However, a giant iceberg was spotted by a lookout in the path of the Titanic. On the night of April 14th, the captain tried to steer around the iceberg, but it was too late. The iceberg hit the side of the ship. Lots of people say that the Titanic's captain, Captain Edward J. Smith, actually ignored the iceberg warnings as he was trying to set a new time record. This isn't true.
Titanic had been designed to withstand almost anything. However, the designers didn't consider what would happen if an iceberg hit the side. As the ship scraped along the side of the iceberg, it ripped several holes into the side of the ship. 5 of the ship's 16 compartments began to fill with water. This was too many. It became clear that the ship was sink. Abandoned ship! Abandoned ship! We're all going down! Man overboard!
The ship's crew began to get people aboard the lifeboats. They quickly discovered that there were not enough lifeboats for all the passengers. The ship was designed to carry 32 lifeboats, but there were only 20 on board. Also, in their panic, many of the lifeboats left on the Titanic, only half full of women and children were put on the lifeboats, first leaving many fathers and husbands behind on the sinking ship. Believe it or not, back at that time, the number of lifeboats were based on the size of the ship, not how many passengers the ship could carry. The new safety rules were put into place after the sinking of the Titanic that required all ships to carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board.
The Titanic sank at 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912. It took quite a while for the close ships to come to their rescue. The waters were very cold, and some people who didn't drown ended up dying from exposure. While over 700 did survive, more than 1,500 died. Captain Edward J. Smith stayed on board and went down with the ship. One famous survivor was Molly Brown. She helped others throughout the tragedy and earned the nickname the Unsinkable Brown. The wreck of the Titanic was discovered by Robert Aller just after 1 a.m. on September 1st, 1985.
The 1997 movie Titanic starred Leonardo DiCaprio and became the highest grossing film of all until it was passed in 2009 by Avatar.
Thanks for watching
This Adventurous Kids episode.
Yeah! Blessed be. Now, a quick moment of silence.
Those lost on the Titanic.
Thank you. What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous